concretely, we're hoping that the resettlement countries, meaning those countries that are currently resettling refugees and those countries that have the capacity to but are not, will agree to resettle. Well, right now, for example, the resettlement countries are the United States, Canada, Australia, the Nordic countries, Germany, Brazil is now a resettlement country as well. There's about 24 or so resettlement countries that are taking refugees in a significant number. But that number is woefully inadequate. It's only about 1% of the world's refugees, and we're saying that really 10% of the world's refugees should be resettled each year. And if 10% of the refugees are resettled each year, resettlement can actually be used to drive toward a solution for refugees and to help countries of first asylum address those refugees who stay behind, to facilitate repatriation and return. But right now, with only 1% of the refugees being resettled, resettlement is merely a symbolic gesture that protects the lives of those people who are resettled, but doesn't really have an impact on refugee situations. The way, for example, resettlement was used in the early 1980s to address the Indo-Chinese boat crisis, refugee crisis.
What's most critical is the fact that we're now paying attention to these issues. It's hard with all of the, the documentation that comes out and the promises that are sought to predict what substantively will come out of these, but the fact that we are all here talking about refugees and that the world is recognizing that we have to do something as an international community, that we can't deal with this on an ad hoc basis is critical. So already something has happened. We as advocates will certainly be pushing this administration to the end of this administration to be doing all it can to make sure that the promises that the president is seeking are met, at least on our side, and also to set the stage for increasing support in terms of resettlement and assistance. Now, these are not easy things, but this is what we're committing to. I was speaking at a religious interfaith event, and one of the things she said to me, which really struck me, is we say a lot that welcome the stranger is mentioned in the Bible 36 times more than anything else. And so the question is, well, why? Why is that mentioned 36 times? And one of the interpretations is that it's mentioned so many times because it is so hard, because it's easy for us to forget, it's easy for us not to do, so that for that reason, we always have to be reminded that this is our role on this planet, is to welcome the stranger. So that, that gives us some cause for optimism, I hope.